Local 652, what happens when we fight? What happens when we fight? It is a good day, week, month, and year to be a union member. The thing about Michigan is beautiful. One of the many things that everybody in our state is either in a union or loves somebody who's in a union. That means that unions are part of the fabric of every relationship and every community across the state of Michigan. I think it's important that we have a president who loves unions, don't you think? People who love and respect unions, they love and respect minds and muscles. They love and respect heads and hearts. They know that it takes that beautiful, powerful combination in order to make things in Michigan and in America. And for people who disrespect that, I can't say what I want to say about them on TV. The state of Michigan is proud to be union strong. Now, you heard the next Congressman, Curtis Hertel, talk about the win that we had in Michigan being the first state in 70 years to restore rights to working people by repealing right to work. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and I worked with a Democratic trifecta, the first one since 1983, to restore prevailing wage on construction projects. For our public sector union sisters and brothers, we restored their collective bargaining rights at the table as well. What this means is we got y'all back. And we have shown in Michigan what it looks, feels, sounds, and smells like, and that Democratic governance is worth voting for. And so as we come into this general election in 2024 with the most important choice before us for President of the United States, since we know what Democratic governance looks like in Michigan, I think we should still have it in America. I think we should have a president like Kamala Harris who has a record of restoring the pensions of 1 million union members in America. I think we should have a president like Kamala Harris who has fought to bring supply chains not just back to America, but to bring those supply chains to Michigan. Look, part of her history, to show you what her track record is in being a partner with labor, is that she's always believed not only in labor's presence, but in its future. She's launched organizing and knowledge resource centers with union locals across the trades, across the country, because she knows that unions train better than anybody, because you know that everybody is capable of contributing. Unions don't leave anybody out or leave anybody behind. You know that everybody has a role to play. You have an inclusive vision of today and tomorrow, and you recognize that the only way that we can get as far as we are capable of is if we all go together. Look, I'm an engineer. I'm a problem solver. We build systems and make them work for people. That's what our working people in Michigan do every single day. They need to have elected leaders who understand that while systems may have failed people in the past, we can rebuild them to work for people in the future. And they can use all the authority that both God and the voters, most importantly, will give them to build those systems. We can have a president who will work with Congress to pass the PRO Act. We will have a president who will work to protect Medicaid and Social Security and Medicare. And we will have a president that is part of her foundational plan to lift people out of poverty and into the middle class. She will create good-paying union jobs in every industry across America. So y'all, this election, we have an opportunity to go farther than we've ever dreamed. The biggest difference between us and the Republicans this year is they are not confident in America's future. Like, look at how they talk. They always talk about what we can't do. They talk about fights we're gonna lose. They talk about cars and technology that we can't build. They talk about how some other country is somehow better at something than America. I can't think of anything that is less patriotic and more wrong. But for these next a little bit fewer than 3 weeks, we have an opportunity to have a conversation with every person we love and who loves us. Every person at our workplace and our place of worship. Every single person we come in contact with, even if you don't know them. I need you to have a conversation with them about participating in this future and telling them that you believe that they are smart enough and strong enough to win the future. Everybody in Michigan and everybody in America is one conversation away from voting for a Democrat. So I need you to be the one that has that conversation, to make sure that they recognize and step into their power and that they stand tall for our values, for our democracy, for our Michigan, and for our country. Thank you. God bless you, union members. Let's work. Let's win. Let's get it done.
Hello, Lansing, UAW, how are you? My name's Curtis Hertel, and I'm proud to represent our communities as a state senator, and I'm proud to be the Democratic nominee for Congress in this district. And I'm also proud to have fought to bring manufacturing jobs back home to mid-Michigan and lead the team to repeal right to work in this state. It's been 2 weeks since J.D. Vance threatened 650 jobs at the Grand River plant here in Lansing. And it's been about 10 days since he called those jobs table scraps. J.D. Vance should tell that to the workers here in Local 652. He should come here and tell it to their faces. Those livelihoods that he jeopardized, it's not table scraps if it puts the food on your table. His comments are offensive, and his failure to commit to saving jobs in our community should be disqualifying. And the same goes for my opponent, Tom Barrett. His silence speaks volumes. Either Tom Barrett is unwilling to stand up to leaders in his own party when they threaten jobs in our community, or he just doesn't care about the hundreds of families that depend on the Grand River plant. Regardless, Tom is once again demonstrating his inability to look out for the people he's seeking to represent. This is but another reminder of the stark choice that we have in November. On one hand, we have Vice President Harris, who has worked to create thousands of auto jobs in Michigan and save the jobs here at the Grand River plant with a $500 million federal investment. And on the other hand, we have J.D. Vance and a ticket that is willing to do away with that progress and eliminate jobs here in Lansing. And let's be clear, the future of the auto industry will either be here in Michigan or it'll be in China. And I'm proud to be Team Michigan every single day. That's why I worked across the aisle to bring manufacturing jobs home. And that is why I'll always fight to protect the job of auto workers across our region and our state. Whether it's J.D. Vance with his words or Tom Barrett with his silence, they are making it clear they would rather see the future of the auto industry be in China. That's disqualifying for someone running for president in Lansing, Michigan. Because we should reflect on where we are here at Local 652. Lansing is an auto town. Lansing is a union town. And Lansing is a UAW town. Whether or not you were in a union, you know people who were, your sister, your uncle, your grandparent. We understand it is the auto workers and union labor that built this town and created its prosperity. We understand that the best bars in Lansing are near our auto plants. We know that workers and their families keep grocery stores and our restaurants afloat. This is about the history of Lansing, the soul of Lansing, and the future of Lansing. And it's right in this room right now. It's simply about who we are and having leaders who understand who we are. Trump doesn't. J.D. Vance doesn't. Tom Barrett certainly doesn't. But Vice President Harris does. Let's go win! Thank you, Lansing.
Wow. Holy cow. All right. I've been coming to union meetings here for 20 years. This is a little bit different look. So it's a good look. First, I want to start off welcoming everybody to Lansing, and especially Local 652, a house that Labor built. Thank you to all the politicians that thought it was important enough to be here. Thank you to Vice President Booth, Director Dawes, any other staff that I missed. Art Reyes, you're out there somewhere. He's been great. Thank you all. I have to thank those folks. I do thank those folks for a very specific reason, because I am union, and they are union, and that makes us family. Family. If you attack one of us, you attack all of us. So I'll get to the topic because you're not here for me, I know that. So, but I will speak to the fact that Lansing has built cars for over 100 years. And some of the best damn cars you'll ever drive came out of the factories in this town. That's right. And I was blessed enough to build a wide variety of those, and now I get to do this, and it's even better. As much as I love talking about the history of Lansing, I'm more excited to talk about the future of Lansing. The future is why we're here. No need to dwell in the past. No need to worry about the past. We reminisce, we appreciate, we can enjoy it, but we need to get excited about the future. The future is why we're here, and the future is why I am up here. I can't express enough gratitude for the opportunity to do this. I am excited to support candidates and speak about candidates that support everything that I wake up, live, and breathe, and have pride to do. You already heard from Curtis. You've heard from Alyssa. They're here because it matters to them. I've extended an honorary family membership to Local 652 to them. Means nothing in reality, but to me it means a lot. Because at the end of the day, when we need them, we make one phone call, they're here. Every time, without fail. That's what family is. We look out for each other. When we're at our weakest, they go to fight for us when they're at their strongest. We've seen that with the legislation that we have passed with the Democratic trifecta. Where's Garland at? That's a great point. But we can't have it just in one state. We've got to have it everywhere. That's why I'm excited about supporting a candidate that supports workers' rights, the collective bargaining process, and even had the guts and the grit to walk the picket line in 2019 with us. And I'll pick on Curtis and Alyssa. They did that too, but I'm not talking about either one of them today. I am a union worker. I believe in union. I believe in family that comes from the union. I believe in the prosperity, and I'm a living recipient of what collective bargaining rights can do. Poor kid to Local 652 president. That's why it's my honor and it is my privilege to announce to you all someone who believes in workers' rights, who believes in the reason I wake up, who believes in the reason that you guys are here. I am a union auto worker, but I am an American first. And I am damn proud to announce to all of you, my next president, your next president, our current Vice President of these United States, Kamala Harris.
Everyone. Oh, it's good to be in the House of Labor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ben, I want to thank you for your leadership. I just said to him, I mean, what a leader he is. You know, First of all, it's so good to be in the House of Labor, and it's so good to be with people who understand the dignity of work and fight for it every day. And it's not an easy fight, but it's a good fight. And I thank you for all that you do, Ben, and everybody who's here. Thank you. So it's wonderful to be back in Michigan and to be with so many incredible leaders, including, of course, Representative Slotkin. Where is she? Oh, there you are, who we must elect to the United States Senate. And we will. I'm counting on that. State Senator Hertel, let's send him to the United States House of Representatives. There you are. And a special thanks to the brothers and sisters of United Auto Workers. Thank you for all that you are, all that you do, and the warm welcome. And of course, for generations in Lansing and across our country, union members have helped lead the fight for fair pay, better benefits, and safe working conditions. And every person in our nation has benefited from your work. You know, everywhere I go, I tell people, you may not be a union member, but you better thank unions for the 5-day work week, for sick leave, for paid family leave and vacation time, because we are all clear, collective bargaining benefits our entire nation. Our entire nation. Because here's the deal, when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up. When union workplaces are safer, everyone's workplace is safer. So thank a union. Thank a union. And the bottom line is when unions are strong, America is strong. Unions have always fought to make our nation more equal, more fair, and more free. And in this election, everything we have fought for years in this movement for unions and for labor, is on the line. And I'm about to talk about it in real terms, because we always have real talk with each other. And your members can afford nothing less, which has been why I appreciate your leadership. This election is about two very different visions for our nation. One that's trying to take us backward, him, and ours that is about moving forward and about the future. We fight for a future where we protect the freedom to organize, where we understand the importance of collective bargaining. You know, I sometimes say to young people, and by the way, have you noticed how when you look at the polling, younger workers coming into the workforce, they get it and they understand the power and the nobility of unions? And I always say to people, look, here's the thing about collective bargaining. Everybody should want that when there's a negotiation, the outcome would be fair, right? Who's going to argue with that? Everybody should want that there will be a fair outcome in a negotiation. All right, so if we start from there, all reasonable people, then let's think about it. If you're talking about the worker, the one worker, trying to negotiate against the corporation, is that outcome going to be fair? No. The disparity in power is too great. So collective bargaining, it's a simple and important point. You let the workers organize so that the collective together, who have the same concerns, the same issues, can be banded together to have equal power in a negotiation, because the whole point is the outcome of the negotiation should be fair. That's what collective bargaining is about. That's what unions are about. It's about basic fairness. And it's about the dignity of work. Understanding all workers deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. That's what we're talking about when we talk about this movement and the strength of the movement and the importance of keeping it going. We talk about then our knowledge about the importance of building a future where we tap into the ambition of the American people, where we build what I call an opportunity economy, right? So every American has an opportunity to own a home, to buy a car, to build wealth, to start a business. And I will always, it is my pledge to you, put the middle class and working people first. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from. I will never forget where I come from. I know where I come from. Hard work is good work. Hard work is good work and must receive the value to which it is due, which means understanding the value of the worker. And we know we cannot have a strong middle class without American manufacturing. Over the last 3.5 years, we brought manufacturing back to America, creating 730,000 manufacturing jobs. With your help, we announced the opening of more than 20 new auto plants in the United States, and we did it by investing in American industry and American workers. And I will make sure America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century. So under my plan, it's about investing in the industries that built America, like steel, iron, the great American auto industry. And we will ensure that the next generation of breakthroughs, from advanced batteries to electric vehicles, are not just invented, but built right here in America by American union workers. Because it is they and you who have proven how to get the job done. And as part of that vision, we will invest in manufacturing communities like Lansing. We will retool existing factories, hire locally, and work with unions to create good-paying jobs, including, by the way, jobs that do not require a college degree. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm really clear that a college degree is not the only measure of the skills and experience of the qualified worker, and we need to understand that. In fact, it is my pledge that as president, I'm going to do a critical assessment of federal jobs to look at those that don't require a college degree, so we can start talking about good jobs based on the skill and experience of the worker and not random measures of who can do what. And I plan on then challenging the private sector to do the same. And we will, importantly, protect the pensions of union workers and retirees. Again, it's about the dignity of work, which includes the dignity of retirement. After a lifetime of working hard, let's talk about the dignity of retirement, the dignity of aging. And that's why, as Attorney General, I sued the big banks to return hundreds of millions of dollars to workers and their families after their pensions were mismanaged. This is not new to me. I've done that work. As a United States Senator, I pushed for legislation to rescue workers' pensions without cutting the benefits that workers had earned. And as Vice President, I worked alongside then Secretary of Labor Marty Walsh, and we, for a year, worked on what we needed to do with the federal workforce, which was in our direct power, to increase the ability for collective bargaining and to ensure that they have all the resources they need to grow in terms of organizing. As Vice President, I also helped to do the long overdue work to protect the pensions of more than 1 million union members. And yesterday, I announced the protection of the full earned pension benefits of more than 22,500 union workers and retirees in Michigan under the Detroit Carpenters Pension Fund. Because again, just to put a fine point on it, when it comes to your pension or Social Security or Medicare, these are retirement benefits you have earned. This is not about a giveaway. You've earned it. And it must be protected. And it must be respected after decades of hard work that you receive it. And honoring these benefits must be an ironclad commitment. Now let's talk about, the guy on the other side. Let's talk about Donald Trump for a minute, shall we? And because he has a very different view. Now, in all seriousness, he has a very different view of workers, of hard work, of the dignity of work. You guys, we know it. We know it. He tries to, do his rhetorical thing at rallies like he understands what it means to earn a living. No, you understand what I'm saying? He pretends that he understands workers and the hard work and the battle workers face every day to get their due wages and benefits. Well, we're not falling for the okey doke because we know what he has said and we know what he has done. He who called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. He called it a Ponzi scheme. He recommended we raise the retirement age to 70. Can you imagine if you were required to work to 70? He who intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. We know how many people, their only source of income is their Social Security check. Talk about, is the value about dignity in retirement, dignity in aging? And remember, he was the only one, he said, he was going to be the only one who could bring back America's manufacturing jobs. You know how he talks, I'm the only one, right? He said, you know how he talks. And then, because we're too busy watching what he's doing to hear what he's saying, we know America lost nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs when he was president, okay? Including tens of thousands of jobs right here in Michigan. And those losses, we know and will note, started before the pandemic, okay? Making Donald Trump one of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs in American history. And his track record for the auto industry was a disaster. He promised workers in Warren that the auto industry would, I'm going to quote, not lose one plant under his presidency. Then American automakers announced the closure of 6 auto plants when he was president, including General Motors in Warren and Stellantis in Detroit. Thousands of Michigan auto workers lost their jobs. And if he wins again, we can expect there would be more of the same. Because we know what he has done. And we know that we're going to focus on the work, not the words, when it comes to Donald Trump. And we know where he took us the last time. And check this out, Donald Trump's current running mate, because the job was open, right? Like when people go for an interview, especially the young people, they'll go for an interview and they'll sit down and they're in the interview and they'll say, why is the job open? Well, we know why that job was open. So Donald Trump's running mate recently suggested that if they win, they would threaten the Grand River Assembly plant right here in Lansing. The same plant that, with your help, our administration protected earlier this year, saving 650 union jobs, right? And I do believe some of the union workers from Grand River are here with us today. So you know what I'm talking about. And Trump's running mate called your jobs table scraps, right? So let me just say, needless to say, I will always have your back. And we'll keep fighting to make sure that you keep your jobs right here in Lansing and keep these most noble and important jobs for America's strength. That's the work you all do. You know, Donald Trump, he also promised that he was going to stop offshoring. Remember that? Then he cut taxes for corporations that shipped 200,000 jobs overseas during his presidency. Cut the taxes for those corporations. Okay? And awarded nearly $500 billion in federal contracts to companies that were offshoring jobs. Okay? Follow the money. He gave your tax dollars to companies that were sending your jobs overseas. And we got to get the word out to all of the brothers and sisters in labor to remind them of what this dude does, right? What he actually does. Because make no mistake, Donald Trump is no friend to labor. He is no friend to labor, and we've got to listen to what he says. Know that, you know that famous saying, listen when people tell you who they are. In fact, can we roll the clip? Let's see. There we go.
I used to hate to pay overtime. When I was in the private sectors, they say, oh, I don't want over. You know, I shouldn't tell you this. I'd go out and get other people and let them work regular time.
But they build everything in Germany, and then they assemble it here. They get away with murder because they say, oh, yes, we're building cars. They don't build cars. They take them out of a box and they assemble them. We could have our child do it.
They go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately.
Right. So, of course, that last bit, he was talking about Sean Fain, who represents nearly 1 million active and retired auto workers. Okay, so that's about 1 million auto workers, active and retired. Donald Trump, listen to his words. He's saying that auto workers are essentially engaged in child's play, that children could do it. Listen to what he says. I'm telling you, he's got his club. And I'm going to tell you, union workers are not part of his club. Let's be clear about that. No matter what he does at his rallies, let's be clear about that, right? He thinks that the value of your work is essentially meaningless. That's what he's saying, to compare it to child's work. When we hear no, the work you do is complex. You do it with great care. You work hard. You are highly skilled. You are highly trained. And the best auto workers in the world is who you are. The best in the world. The best in the world. And the fact is, Donald Trump's comments are the talk of someone who has had everything handed to him. I know it's right. It is. I know. It is. This man, who never had to work a job that came with calloused hands or an hourly wage, right? Someone who got handed $400 million on a silver platter and did what with it? Filed bankruptcy 6 times. Come on. Come on. He will never understand the life and the work of a United Auto Worker. He will never understand that. People who work hard for everything they have, who take great pride in a job well done, who understand what it represents to their family and the future of their family. Again, I go back to the dignity of hard work. So let us be clear. Donald Trump's insults to American workers is not exclusive to that video, okay? So that was just a moment, kind of think of it as the commercial break in my speech. But his comments are not only that, because Donald Trump has been a union buster his entire career. He has called union leaders, quote, dues-sucking people, okay? He said that he supports so-called right-to-work laws, quote, 100%, okay? He bragged and joked with a billionaire buddy about mass firing striking workers and lowered labor standards and made it easier for companies that break the laws to get federal contracts. Donald Trump encouraged automakers of Michigan so they could pay their workers less, encouraged them to move so they could pay their workers less, okay? And when the UAW went on strike to demand the higher wages you deserve, Donald Trump went to a non-union shop and attacked the UAW. He said striking and collective bargaining don't make, and I'm going to quote, a damn bit of difference. So here's the bottom line. Donald Trump's track record is a disaster for working people. And he is, I believe, an existential threat to America's labor movement. And everything he intends to do if he is reelected is also spelled out in that Project 2025. So to read it and to know it is to know he intends to launch a full-on attack on unions and the freedom to organize, okay? He will ban public sector unions, roll back workplace safety protections. Read it when you have some time, Google it, everybody's watching. Look, he will make it easier for companies to deny overtime pay for workers and appoint a union buster to run the Department of Labor. Be sure of that. Be sure of that. So to all the friends here, I say what you already know. It's time to turn the page. This is turn the page. Turn the page. Because America is ready to chart a new way forward, and we are not going back. We are not going back. No, we are not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back because, as UAW always does, we are going to push forward. We are going to push forward, and it all comes down to this. Look, you all have taken time out of your busy lives to be here this afternoon, and we are all here together because we know the stakes in this election are so high. We are all here together because we love our country. We love our country. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, the expression of the love of our country, to fight for our ideals. And that's what this is about. This is not, at the end of the day, a fight against something. This is a fight for something. This is a fight for something, including the fight to realize the promise of America. After all, that's what unions have always done. It's about understanding the promise of America, which has to include the promise that we should make to the workers of America. So we have 18 days to get this done. It's not a lot of time, okay? And we know this is going to be a tight race until the very end. We are the underdog. But make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. I'm telling you. It's going to be hard work, but we like hard work. Hard work is good work. And ultimately, we will win because we know what we stand for. And when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for, right? We stand for opportunity. We stand for dignity, and we stand for the future. And so I'll close by saying, and when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless America.
Thank you.